book. So that's why you're here, isn't it?
Books, yeah, books. You got a book?
I've got a book out.
What does your book feel like?
Have a feel
that's
of that.
nice. No, oh, God.
Quite weighty, isn't it?
A rude cover, isn't it?
Yeah, I look all right, though, for my age.
And what does your partner or wife think of that?
She just...
Is that glamorous?
She's sort of a bit, does that have to be the cover? But, you know, we've all changed. I mean, I know my body's not what it was when I first met her, but, you know, hers isn't either. There's about 120,000 words, I think.
Yeah, gosh. Well, there's only 80,000 in that. 90,000, yeah. 120,000 words, all different. Who's that guy?
He was in Russia, and he's magnetic, magnet man.
Magnet. Oh, what he's got, so full of polluted...
Well, I don't know. At first, I was
that.
sort of amazed and a bit like, bloody hell, a magnet man.
Yeah.
But after a while, he was rubbing spoons on himself and he stuck them on me. And I realised he's not magnet man, he's just sweaty man.
Yeah.
his superpower could have sort of been killed with talc.
That's a good sweaty man, is it?
Anyway, we've got books out. I don't know how much we can say about having a book out. There's your book.
Good
luck with that.
In the toilet as soon as I get home.
Good, isn't it?
I went to Brazil because I thought it felt to me like it was somewhere that didn't really exist. You know, it's a kind of fantasy world. I kind of thought of that. Is it a real place or is it just a state of mind where the sun's always shining and people are always on the beach?
Yeah.
And everyone's eternally happy. So I wanted to go and find out. It can't be true that there's a place like that. But it is, almost.
Did you go to a nudist beach? That's what I was taken to one of them when I was in Brazil.
No, I didn't.
You know, I don't need an all-over tan. You know, who's that for? Who's seeing that? So
what do you wear normally? If you're on a Brazilian beach, what would you be wearing?
I had sort of, you know, quite long shorts on. I like having pockets that I can shove stuff in.
Yeah. Action trousers, I used to call them.
Yeah, I like them. Keep a t-shirt on. Hat, so I don't burn my head.
Yeah.
Socks with trainers.
That's really overdressed for a Brazilian beach, isn't it?
I did feel it, but
like
at the
dressed
same...
for winter.
No, I know.
Yeah. So what happened on the nudist beach then? You couldn't sort of
I sat
stand
there.
around in all your gear.
They took me there early, and I was sat down, and then I just saw this bloke put sort of under a tent getting drinks ready for the day, and he bent over to go in the fridge, and it was one of those sort of those double takes. I've got no pants on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're thinking, what are you thinking? Why are you showing that off? I mean, I don't like my body. You know, if I look at it, if I get a glimpse of it in a shower, or I had to have a medical check, and I told him I had a bad back, and in the end, he sort of said, drop your trousers. So I did, and he went, no, your underpants as well.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had that.
Bad back.
For a bad back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And but you do, because if a doctor tells you to do something, you do it, don't you?
Did he ask you to
cough?
And
he did
held
that.
Your balls?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did that, and then he put them back up. But the thing is, I was stood in front of a mirror, and I saw a glimpse of me, stood there with my trousers around my ankles, and it was something that I just thought, that's horrible. That it's a horrible sight, and you should keep covered up. There's nothing that I thought, I wish I could show this off more.
The thing is, Karl, that you never seem to really be enjoying yourself when you're out there.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I lie there, wherever I am, and the amount of times I'm lying somewhere, like a hole somewhere or a tent, just thinking, what am I doing? Loads of times.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Nearly 40. I should just get a normal job.
I'm nearly 70. I still write down, why am I doing this?
Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Good question. Gets me out of the house.
Yeah, but you see, I like being in the house. That's when I'm most happy. Pottering about, painting a door. I was cleaning tiles yesterday.
Were you?
Floor tiles.
And you're happy?
Sat there with Sif.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, it's like Buddhism, just Zen.
Yeah, because what I like about travelling, I don't know whether you have this quite the same, is that it is a bit... It's an adventure in another world. I quite like that. I kind of surrender to it because I want it to be different. I enjoy the difference. I mean, do you like, when you were growing up or whatever, I mean, do you read books about foreign places? Do you? No, you didn't go into all that, because I like geography at school. Did you like geography?
Oh. You see, it wasn't... I went to a rubbish school, so it was kind of... I think the geography teacher was a PE teacher, and it was... You know, we didn't get taught anything really. The first place I went abroad was Ibiza when I was 22.
It's not quite abroad, really, is it? Sort of, or did you savour the lovely sort of foreign countryside and Spanish culture?
No, it was a mate who knew someone who had a sort of a villa there, and it was horrible. And the problem was he rented it out to anyone, and we got there and the toilet was full. I had like a hard crust because of the hot weather. And the first day was spent sort of chipping away at that. So that was my first experience of this exotic travel, sort of chipping away at the hard layer, you know, getting through to the softer stuff before you could actually flush it. So it's not, for me, it wasn't like, oh, where have I been, you know? I should do more of this.
The most sort of memorable bit of travelling I ever did was when I was on the Down. The Sound I particularly didn't really like any foreign food. And as soon as we got on the boat, they said, we'll do a curry, you know, we'll include you in it, we should have some curry. And he said, no, we've got our food. And he gets this great clunky tin of Sainsbury's tuna out. And so he opens it, and it slides out, this kind of wobbly, gelatinous mass, boom. And you just know what you want to eat. You want the curry, whatever's in it.
Yeah, I suppose so. You don't want to eat something that's sat in a tin.
Would you have eaten the Sainsbury's tuna?
Probably. Yeah, you can still travel and pick up quite a lot from seeing the world without having to eat
Without eating?
food. Without eating their food.
I don't see how you can do that. I think food is so important to get to know, get the feel of how people live, you know. I mean,
No, but
go
you can
to Japan
see
and
it.
not have sushi or sashimi, or go to China and, you know.
But I did go to Japan and I saw, have you seen the little, I think they're called bento boxes?
Oh, yeah.
And they're about that big,
Yeah.
and they look brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, the presentation is amazing. They're like a little box of sort of Thornton chocolates. The way they look, you're going, oh, that looks brilliant.
Yeah.
But instead of sort of a coffee cream, you open it, it's sort of fish arse with a squid bollock shoved in.
Yeah.
And you think that, as nice as that looks, it's still a squid bollock.
But do you feel, you know, foods are very much a part of hospitality, isn't it? It's about the kind of, if you want to relate to the people you're meeting, you've got to sort of sometimes have the food they offer, because that's the first sign of hospitality, or the drink.
It depends how much fuss. Sometimes I can sort of say, oh, I'm okay, thanks. And then they'll go, no, have some. And you go, oh, I ate, I've already eaten, I'm fine, you have it. Give it to your family, you know, don't worry about me. But then they keep pushing it.
Yeah, of course they do.
And, you know, in Jordan, it was an eye off a lamb. And they were going, because your guests have an eye. Well, I don't want an eye.
No.
You know, thanks for having me, but I don't want it. And what was a worry was, it was a big pan with this lamb head in it. There was one eye. Where's the other eye? No. What condition was this lamb in?
Yeah.
So, and then you're getting a vision of some manky old lamb with one eye, sort of, and one weeping. And I just thought, I don't want to eat it.
You've got a very vivid imagination.
Oh, it just, honestly, it was horrible. And everyone's sat around,
they're all waiting,
off the tits, they're all smoking. So, eat the eye.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, these aren't local, these are nutters.
But they're not nutters. They've been eating eyes for years, I should think.
What are they doing eating eyes? I don't know. You've had a lamb somewhere. Where's the rest of it? Why am I getting the head?
I find toilets abroad, I was a bit sort of embarrassed about sort of, you know, doing a sequence where you go to the toilet, but people love that. They love it. I mean,
everyone does it.
I mean, the Alan Wicker programmes and all that, we never say Alan Wicker going to take a dump, because
No.
that wasn't part of it. When we went to the toilet in the South Pole, and I sat there, and there was kind of blocks of ice being dug around. You just sat there on the john, and you know, looked for 10,000 miles, you wouldn't be able to see anything at all, nobody at all.
But I found that a lot easier, because I had the same thing there, and at least somewhere like that, with it being freezing, you don't get people out walking a dog, do you? You sort of think, I'll just have a shit in this gap. There's no one going to come wandering past, whereas in India, everywhere's busy. Yeah. Even if you go down an alley, you think, I can go down here and empty my bowels, and there's a family of 12 living there or something. There's no gap, there's no space.
While we're on it, squat toilets I quite like. Do you like those?
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh dear.
It's like my stomach's going, I'm not coming out. It's, you know, I'm not releasing anything. You're not sat on a seat. It's like a safety thing. I was trying it before I left on the trip before India. The first time I went, I knew that was going to be the case. And I tried it at home. I put out newspaper in the toilet. I didn't even tell my girlfriend. I just wanted to see if I can do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Well, that's probably because you're at home and you put newspaper on the floor. It's actually sort of, whatever the word is, physically, it's a very good position to be
I believe so.
in.
But for me, you know, the toilet thing is a big part of my life, in a way. It's something I do look forward to. If the day ever came that I had to have a bag, I think it's almost like that moment's been taken away from me. That just me in a little room, door shut.
Yeah.
It's me time. I always said that. It's a chance just to get away from everyone.
Yeah.
And people leave me alone when I'm in there, you know.
Usually, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, but well, you'd be surprised.
The publishers can't ring you up when you're on the toilet. Have your mobile with you or not?
I do, yeah.
Do you now? Yeah. God.
Well, that's the closest I get to multitasking, that. Hiya. Are you Davram?
America.
Davram?
America.
What? Are you Davram?
Yes, I am.
What do you mean, America?
Oh, I thought you said, where did I come from? Yes, my name is Dave Ram.
Davram. Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant.
You're going to meet, really, one of the great saints of India. And Swamiji's reached the height of spiritual development. Just being in the presence of a master of that caliber elevates one's awareness.
And will he keep asking me if I'm feeling that?
No.
No?
No.
No. Trying to think of times in my life where I felt a bit different.
Right.
And I remember, it was years ago, I nearly choked to death on an ice pop. I mean, Mum had to give me, do you know the thing where you squeeze around the waist and sort of cough it up?
Right.
And I got my breath back.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I felt quite alive.
Okay, well, take that experience, magnify it manyfold, and let it be uninterrupted.
Hey, how are you, Swamiji?
Absolutely fine, absolutely fine.
That's good.
You are keeping good health?
I've been better.
You as an individual, you must be analyzing yourself whether you are body-oriented or mind-oriented or soul-oriented.
I'd say mind.
Once you know how to channelize and systematize and synchronize systematically, then ultimately you could be the source of inspiration for millions.
Anyway, next thing I know, Swamiji says, I want to take you across the Ganges in a boat because he wanted to cleanse my soul or something. Never had it cleansed before. Yeah, look, it's gone down, look, it's having a dump.
See, it's having a dip.
Yeah.
So you will have to dip or have dip.
Yeah.
I will take you there,
Yeah.
you will have to dip there.
I'm not dipping there.
No, I will.
No chance. Not a chance.
You better sit, then a sit.
You alright, Swami? Oh, shit, no. Hang on. Hello?
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm just in the Ganges at the moment, just on a rubber dinghy with a 77-year-old man.
Oh, God.
So it's not a great...
That's so funny.
I'm sat on the front here of a rubber dinghy. Can I call you back in a bit?
No, I'm just going out now.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, bye.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Time to call, isn't it?
Would you like to have the bath in the Ganges?
I don't know, isn't it wrong, though? For me to get in there, it doesn't mean anything to me, does it? It doesn't count, surely. He said, do you want to go in the Ganges? I said, no.
It is the best medicine on the earth.
Yeah?
Yeah. It can heal you and it can help you and can inspire you.
And he left it at that, which I thought was quite good. He didn't force it on me to go any further. And then he started stripping off, so I had to. It's madness.
It is a kind of divine madness.
Come on. Hey.
So sweet of you. Everyone, come. Have a dip, have a dip.
And I said, well, if you go in, I'll go in. And he did. So I had to.
Oh! Good hell.
And thought that was it. And then suddenly it's like, oh, well, let's dunk your head.
Yeah, once more. Yeah, fine.
You know, not once either. You have to do it 3 times, 3 dunks. And you don't do that with a ginger nut and a cup of tea. That's a 2 dunk.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, once more. Fine.
So, do that. He's happy. And he was saying, oh, look what it's done to you. You look full of life. And it did wake me up a bit, but it is like -5.
After having the bath in the Ganges, you have the new dress, Indian dress.
Back for a cup of tea?
A cup of tea and biscuit.
Have you got some biscuits?
Yes.
I love a biscuit.
Yeah.
I feel like I can take a biscuit off you now. I did that for you. That. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how things change. I said I wouldn't get in there. I don't feel like I'm round some sort of special power, but he seems like a nice bloke, and that's all you want, really. Nice bloke, makes you feel welcome in his gaff. He's fed us, he's let me have a bed, messed about on his rubber dinghy. You know, if that's what spirituality's about, then that's just being mates, really. That's basic, isn't it? It's about getting on with people.
He's a transformed man. Look at this guy.
Very airy.
Suvaratrim.
See you in the morning.
Okay. Laughing said.
This is Speaker's Corner in London, where every Sunday people can just turn up, stand on a box, and sort of, you know, shout out what's on their mind.
All women! Back to the kitchen! Now!
The bloke you're about to see, that's him there. He's called Howard, and he normally comes here to spread the word about how he's going to live forever.
I'm not there to convince them that I'm right. They can go away and think I'm a complete lunatic for all that matters.
Ricky told me about him ages ago, and when he said he was bringing out a DVD called Fame, I kind of thought, you know, it'd be an ideal opportunity to meet up with Howard and have a chat with him because, you know, fame, I'm going to live forever. Sort of works, doesn't it? I met up with Howard at a park near his house one morning just before he was going off to Speaker's Corner. He started off by telling me how it all came about.
Over a period of 16 years, from 1970 to 86, I discovered a process to stop the physical ageing process of the body. As I say, it took me about 16 years to work out. Now, what I discovered is that everybody's mind operates within a standard framework, and you go through the process of life everyone's familiar with. You know, you physically age and die. Well, I found a way, over a period of 4 years, I say from 82 to 86, approximately, where it's possible to pull one's mind out of the standard framework into an alternative framework, and within that alternative framework, the physical body doesn't age.
But have I got this as well, or is this just unique to you?
It's unique to me, yes.
So even though you're telling me I couldn't...
No, there's certain laws operating in the universe that only allow one person to work it out, so it only applies to me, so it's not transferable. Because often people get disappointed, but they don't seem to realise that that is the situation.
Well, do they feel like you're just showing off then? Because in a way it's kind of like, look what I've got.
Yeah, that's true, but I try to explain to them, if they can see it, that I'm not actually showing off. The position is that this is what my vocation is in life. And they say, and someone turns around and says, that's not fair. Well, let's look at it realistically. Is life fair? It isn't, is it?
Not
really.
For everyone.
No, not for everyone. It's not really fair. That's the situation. I can't alter the laws of the universe. So it's not my fault. It's not blaming me.
Would that annoy you if there was someone? If I said, Howard, the reason I'm seeing you is because I've got the same thing.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's not possible. As I said, certain laws operating in the universe only allow one person to work it out. Of course, someone's going to ask me...
But who's made that rule?
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, that's where it stops. It's difficult to go into that. So it's difficult to explain that.
The other thing is, if there was another one, people would sort of try and pair you off, wouldn't they? They'd say, oh, you can live together forever. But that wouldn't be the best thing, would it? Because you'd be sick of each other.
You'll soon find that this thing is generally ignored. I mean, after you have, as I said, the initial conversation, one doesn't normally discuss it again. It's just one of those things.
So you don't bring it up in other bits when it comes to like insurance and stuff like that?
Oh no, forget about all that.
You just leave it because it's just too complicated?
No, there's no point in mentioning it. That'd be what I call inappropriate.
But you are happy with it, you're not
Yeah, I've adjusted. In life you have to adjust to things, don't you? Whatever happens, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, one hope it doesn't happen to you, but you could one day have an accident or you lose an arm. Well, it's terrible to start off with, but after a while you have to adjust, because some people get in a situation like that might get very bitter for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So
it's understandable, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's understandable if they do. I say it's not a very good analogy there.
But what about you? You know, you sort of living forever, though. You could still lose an arm or a leg, couldn't you?
Well, no, I'm protected by the spirit world. That sort of situation won't occur.
What? No harm at all? You can't...
Within reason. I mean, obviously you can get a cold or things like that. But
you can't lose a leg, or...?
No, that's impossible.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm protected by... See, people think there's only one world, the physical world, but there's two worlds. The physical world and the spirit world. I'll still be in the physical world, whereas you'll be in the spirit world.
But doesn't that annoy you, because you'll never get to see the spirit world?
Well, it is possible. Some people have seen glimpses of the spirit world before they physically die. There's something called near-death experiences.
Yeah, I've had that.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, It
was on an ice pop.
Oh, I see.
That went down the wrong way on my throat and I was choking, and my mum had to give me that fireman's thing where they, get air to you, squeeze you around the belly.
Oh, I see.
But I didn't see anything. I didn't see like a person standing over me saying welcome or whatever would happen.
I see. Very good. So it was an uplifting experience.
It's horrible.
I'm sure it is. Well, they are.
I always say I want to live to be about 74, 75, and then I reckon by that point I'll have had enough, I think.
You think? Oh, dear.
How old are you now?
Well, see, now let's make clarification, because you talk about age for a minute. See, in this alternative frame, I won't age. So I won't get any older than I am now.
What, in terms of the way you look?
Physical, yeah. Now, let's see how old I was when my body stopped aging in 1986, so now I'm 42.
You're 42. So birthdays, in effect, they're a waste of time to you, aren't they? Because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, do they mean anything to you?
It just means I'm getting a bit nearer to dying.
That's how you receive it. Some people like celebrating their birthdays regardless.
No, I don't. So what do you do for a birthday? I mean, is this sort of an in-joke with your friends? And
No, it's just someone might send me a card and that's it. I mean, I'm not too concerned.
No, but do they joke in it? It's like, here's another one.
No. If I tell people about my vocation in life and they want proof, I normally don't give it, because I'm not there to prove anything. I'm there, my mission is to tell people about it, anyone who's particularly interested. I'm not there to convince them that I'm right. They can go away and think I'm a complete lunatic, for all that matters. I'm not worried.
Do you think they'll start listening more when you're a lot older, because then they'll go, oh, he wasn't joking?
They might make a joke later, but they might have died by the time, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean...
I don't know what matters. That's kind of... I just bumble along, that's what you do. You're born and you try and get on with it and you try and enjoy yourself. But everything in life normally comes to an end, doesn't it? So it's hard to get your head around. It's like when people say the universe goes on forever. You go, oh, don't talk about it.
Well, so what? If it does, big deal, so what?
Well...
It doesn't affect you.
No, but it's weird. You can't get your head around it, can you? Because everything's got a lifespan normally.
Well, we always think everything has a beginning and an end.
But most things do. Tell me something else apart from you that is going to be on this planet forever.
Well, there's the Earth, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's always been turfed and that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's about it.
All you're doing is having an haircut. I'm talking about like something that lasts forever, that you don't have to do anything to. There's nothing.
I don't think there's anything, to be quite frank.
A tortoise, that is the only thing that you sort of think lives for ages, but even forever.
No, but 250 years if they're lucky, I think.
How many? 250?
I think they can live for 250 years, I think.
Well, they never look happy, do they? That's...
Well, I don't know. They live in a world of their own.
So what about, like, the way the world's going? Because everyone's always worrying about the world, aren't they, saying global warming, stuff like that?
Best thing, perhaps, is not to listen to the news. Read the news and newspaper, all you do is get depressed.
I know, well, I said this to someone the other day and they had a bit of a go at me, because I was saying I prefer not to know a lot of stuff.
I think you're very wise and sensible to say that.
I know, but people don't like it. They don't like it, do they?
Whatever you say, there's always going to be someone doesn't like what you're saying.
The other day, put it on, the news was saying, we're not having Mother's Day anymore. It's like, what's all that about? Oh, because it upsets orphans. And it's like, what are they telling us that for?
Well, some things are a bit ridiculous.
I know, but that's just it, isn't it? And that's why sometimes the world annoys me. And at least I've got a point in it where I can go, let me off, and I die. Whereas with you, you've got to sit through all this.
See, that's outside my control. I can't do anything about the world. The world carries on regardless, but it certainly won't end. It'd be continuous, because obviously if I'm here forever, then obviously the world will still be here. But don't ask me what state it'd be in. I mean, they just have to handle things as they happen. I mean, anything could happen.
That's why I'm sort of glad that I haven't got what you've got, because I think I would. I'd be worrying all the time. I'd be thinking, where do I want to be living? What job do I want to be doing? Do I want to have kids? Will we get a dog? You know what I mean? It's all hassle, isn't it? Waking up every day. It's like, have you seen Groundhog Day?
I have seen the film, yes.
That's kind of what you're like, but on a bigger scale, isn't it? It's like, here we go again. It's a Thursday.
Well,
Thursday.
We're sure there must be some good things happening, as well as the other side of the picture.
What, for me? Or for you?
Well, for
everyone. Yeah, you get a good day now and again, don't you? And you have a nice holiday and stuff.
It's very important, obviously, to remember that never worry about what you haven't got, because you must appreciate what you have got. Everyone's different. It doesn't mean that person. Never be envious of somebody else, regardless. You don't want people to have to go through. You know, you walk around, you see these people living in these fantastic houses and very famous and all this. I mean, as I say, you don't know what people have to go through in order to get where they are and what they've got, and all the other problems involved in their lives, their relationship problems, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, but you'll have loads of them, because you can't avoid, like, problems just crop up, don't they? But saying that, if the same problem crops up for you, you'll be ready to handle it, won't you? You'll go, this happened 900 years ago, and this is how I dealt with it.
I don't know, the same problem never really crops up again. It always comes up a bit different, and you're in a different situation, and etc., etc.
No, but I just mean, like, in my flat, I'm constantly having problems with the boiler.
I see.
The first time it happened, it's like, oh, what's up with this? And then the second time, like, the boiler man's told you a little trick to do, and then you do that, and that sorts it out, so you're not as stressed. But then it happens again.
Well, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds like it. Has it been resolved?
Not really.
Are you a private tenant?
Yeah.
But what's happened at the moment? Situation.
Just having cold showers. Boiling the kettle.
It could be dangerous, couldn't it? What's the landlord? You got a landlord?
There's like a service charge company who looks after the block, but I own the flat.
I see. Oh dear.
But they don't want to know, do they? They're not bothered.
I know. Oh, I see. I'm with you. You have got a problem.
The living forever thing. Do you ever sort of wish that you were born years ago, so that you would have lived through more changes? Because at the moment, not that much changes, does it? It's sort of just new buildings and, you know, covers of old songs. There's nothing new happening as much. Whereas if you were born, say, at the beginning of time, you would have really experienced everything, wouldn't you? Do you ever sort of think about that?
I just accept the now principle. This is where I am now. That's all that matters.
And what about, you know, where you live? London, I find quite stressful. I'm only here because this is where, you know, the work is.
It is stressful. I agree. Any doubt.
Yeah. Well, will you move around? Will you try and see the world? Or
I don't know. I couldn't really answer that.
Yeah. But if you're living forever, aren't you tempted to go to places that are a bit dangerous? And because I fancy seeing a tornado, but I know it's dangerous. But if I knew that nothing was going to happen to me, I'll go to Texas and chase a couple.
Well, the answer is definitely no. And just to surprise you a bit more, is that I've never been abroad in my life.
You've never been abroad?
No.
Why not?
Why should I?
Because I mean...
We're all different, aren't we?
We are, and to be honest, if you want for my girlfriend, I probably wouldn't go away as much as I do. She likes travelling, and I just go along because I don't want to be left on my own.
See.
But at the same time, I don't regret it, because you learn a lot, don't you, from other places?
Well, I'm sure you can.
But you've just avoided that.
Yes, I mean, there's other things I can learn from, other people, places. I'm not too concerned about it. I probably may not have anyone to go with. good company or anything, so I haven't gone.
Yeah, but you can meet people away. You go away
they're
and
strangers. They don't, it can be very difficult. You might find no one there you can get on with. It's all a bit of a risk, and you don't always feel like making the effort. You don't see any point. Some people find making friends easier than others,
and you don't.
I don't find it particularly easy.
Why is that?
A touchy subject, that, for me.
Why?
Well, I don't really have many...
But that's by choice.
Not by choice, just, it's the people you meet, isn't it? I mean...
Well, there isn't many people around who you want as a friend?
Well, there aren't any that have come across who could be. This is the whole thing.
Right. So Hyde Park will be really busy today for you.
Oh, yes, it will be. I haven't done it for about 3 months.
Right.
I'll probably go along because the weather is appropriate. What I do, I walk around Hyde Park with a board. I'll show you. I'll put it on.
Fall is here, hear the yell. Back to school, ring the bell. Brand new shoes, walking blues. Climb the fence.
Karl had a treat in the week, didn't he?
He couldn't believe his luck.
We know Derren Brown. You know Derren Brown, the sort of magician, mind reader fella.
It's more special than that.
Well, called me up in town, said, "Do you mind if we bring along Karl?" He went, "Pleasure." Karl's very cynical, saying, "Well, he won't get into my head."
Yep.
Great, wasn't it?
It was brilliant.
He went, "Can I ask him questions?" I went, "Well, no, it's social." He went, "I'm not coming." I went, "Well," he went, "Well, I'll ask him, I want him to know how he did that trick when he said, you've got the winning ticket." I went, he's not going to tell you, he's a magician." He went, "Well, it's not worth it then, if I can't quiz him." But he came along.
Still did though, didn't I? Got in there with the questions that the people wanted to know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, what did you ask him and what did you find out?
I said, how do you do that?
I love the fact that the first half hour, me, Steve and Derren Brown were convincing Karl that he didn't see a ghost when he was 5.
Yeah.
And then we got onto the tricks.
Yeah.
Well, it will live in my mind. He won't get inside my head.
Yeah.
And he got inside your head magnificently, Karl, didn't he? I mean, were you not amazed? I mean, Derren promised actually that he would come on the show in the future, and then you, the listeners, can see how he can baffle, amaze, and just generally freak out.
I think we should film everything that happens, right? Because it's just a waste, because you're only getting half of it when you hear what Karl has to say. Because his face, honestly, says 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think we should film it and just put it on a DVD of Karl's facial expressions. This is Karl thinking he saw a ghost. Yeah. This is Karl thinking they were going to clone a man moth.
Yeah.
It's just different faces.
So do you want to try and explain what he did and what marvelled you so much?
Right, yeah. He comes in, he sits down. I'm a bit sort of, bit spooked by him straight away.
Oh, you're spooked by him straight away, really?
Yeah, there's a weird thing about him. Right? So anyway, he sat there, and I'm watching him.
Because he was naked?
Checking, seeing what he's, looking at and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets his paper out, and I think, right, he's gonna do a bit of trickery and that. And he says to me, "Right, write down a number and a name." Right? It was between...
A 2-digit number, a 2-digit number, and a name of anyone you know.
Yeah, right. Now, the thing is, I thought of the name because I was telling Steve earlier about the kid at school who I fell out with, right?
Yeah.
Over that girl who was called Aris,
yeah.
Right? So that name was, like, in my mind, ready to go. Because I didn't want to use anybody's name who I knew, sort of, now, because maybe you've mentioned it in the past. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't say Suzanne.
I knew Colin Macon anyway.
Yeah, well, do you know what I mean? So I picked a name, yeah. Well, I thought you might have been thinking about Auntie Nora. So I picked this name, right, that you three didn't really know about, right? Number just came to mind, right? So...
42, we were never thinking of that.
42, right? Yeah. He said, right, just keep saying it over and over in your head. And I'm there, and he's saying all these sort of different numbers at me, and I'm trying to throw him off a little bit. Every time he said a number that was nothing like 42, sort of smiling, looking a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Don't know if you caught that, right?
All I could see was you looking sort of blank.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I was doing
stony faced.
He picked the wrong person when he said let your mind go blank, you'd realise he picked on the wrong person then.
Right. So,
you had to squeeze his head to get it going again.
I said, Derren, if in doubt, he'll be thinking of monkeys. And Derren looked at Karl and he said, were you thinking of monkeys? He said, I tried not to and I thought of them more.
Right, that's true as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm there thinking of these numbers and that, and then he said, right, let's just talk about other stuff for a bit, right? So I was like, well, I'm not going to say anything,
Yeah.
right, because I don't want you to catch me out. But then when we were talking, I was trying to, like, knock him off track.
Clever.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I played a bit of hardball with him.
Yeah,
didn't I, really?
yeah.
I was like saying, because we were talking about aliens and that as well, weren't we? And I was saying, well, you know, they might come and land again in 2060.
Clever.
You know what I mean? Dropping in different numbers and
Sure.
that, and so doing all that, playing him at his own game, and I think I had him for a bit.
On the ropes, yeah.
So anyway, comes down to the time when he's telling me the name and the number.
Yeah.
And well, he explained what he actually did. I mean, that was.
He said, just think of a number at the end of it, and he said, oh, is it an I? And you went, it wasn't an I, but there is no, okay, and anyway, he got
the name.
Harris, then he went and said, are you an extrovert? And he wrote down these numbers.
Well, he wrote down some numbers, and he said that if you're an extrovert, these are the numbers you tend to choose. If you're an introvert, these are the numbers you tend to choose. And he wrote them down, and he said, I don't think you're really an introvert, I don't think you're this, I don't think you're that, da-da-da. And I think he came up with the number 32, didn't he? He said to you, you're thinking of number 32. You said to him, no way. You couldn't believe your luck, could you, when you've caught him out?
But he said it's either 42 or 32, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, no, but it was beside the point, because then he said, you know, rather brilliantly, hang on a minute, if you just add up these numbers here, that adds up to 42.
It was a magic
if you add
square.
Up those numbers, that's 42. That's 42 across diagonally there. That box is 42.
All the numbers that added up on the page, whether you go across, sideways, down, across, or whatever, always added up to 42.
Yeah.
Right?
And you've got the name Harris.
Which freaks you out.
It freaked me out. I kept saying to him, how do you do it, how do you do it, and he wasn't telling me. I was talking to people at work about him, and one lad said, apparently the trick that he uses is the same thing that Hitler did.
Play record.
No, seriously. Apparently it's the same thing, because he was saying...
What?
Play record.
No, just let me finish, because... No, I've even ran it by other people to check if I'm
right
on this.
So let's do play record and come back to
Because the people in the XFM office, I mean, they're pretty wise. They're up on that stuff.
No, he used it in a different way.
Play record.
No, hang on a minute, let me hear it.
All it is, it's power of suggestion, apparently. And when Hitler used to do his big speeches to people.
Yeah. It's supposed to be play.
Come on, finish your point.
Well, that's about it.
Who
I'm
told
just
you
saying.
that? Ian Canfield.
A few different people.
Right. The big thinkers out there in the office. The brain boxes.
But anyway, right, it's...
Because, I mean, Magnus Magnusson works on XFM now, doesn't he?
Right, listen.
Or was it Paxman? Was it Jamie Paxman?
That blew me away, right, the fact that he got the name, he got the number. Spooky bit, right? I'm walking home. I called you up a couple of times and I left a message on your phone. Because it was just amazing. Not only was he good at magic, but his maths was brilliant. No, well, that thing adding up to 42 was like, how did he do that? I mean, we didn't even make a big deal out of that.
He said, all Carol Vorderman's got is the maths.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine him on Countdown. He'd even know what they were going to write down. Do you know what I mean? So, a bit of a wasted talent. I should see him again about that. I think he's...
He asked him, I said, Derren, why are you doing it on mucking around on telly? Then he went, sorry? He went, why are you mucking around on telly?
Yeah.
And he said you could make some serious money. I think Steve went, well, he does all right. He went, nah, but if he did that with the ticket thing all day.
But didn't you say to him you should be working for the police force?
I said, yeah, he should be in a police station. He could help people out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a daft idea, is it?
Not really.
Right, so anyway, right, so I get home, still, I'm calling different people up walking home, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Right, I called Suzanne up telling her about it, and she's like, slow down. She said, you're like a little kid who's just been on a fairground ride or something.
Yeah.
Slow down. Right, so I'm telling her, call my mum and dad up. My dad wasn't that impressed.
No, of course
He was
not.
like, well, that's all been done before. But anyway, right, so...
But then he wasn't impressed with Little Donkey, was he?
No, he's not impressed by much, is he?
Right, so I get in...
He probably had to nip out down to the phone box.
Right.
Do some thieving.
Yeah. We've forgotten bread. No, I'll just go down to the phone box.
Right, so I get into my flat, right, and what they do in my flat where I live, they put the post in, like, these little pigeonholes, right, and I don't normally check them out. I leave it for Suzanne to do, right?
Sure.
But this time, for some weird reason, I thought, right, I'll check it, see if we've got any post. Open it up. There's only this. A letter for Miss Harris.
Yep. There it is. Bona fide in front of us. A letter addressed to a Miss Harris.
Well, does she live there?
No, it's my address. She doesn't live there.
Did she ever?
Dunno. It doesn't matter. It's weird, isn't it?
But
we've never had. Normally, I think there was a guy who lived there called Yaki Shoki.
Mr. 42.
It was definitely wasn't. and Harris, right? This is the first time we've had a letter for this woman.
Yes.
Right.
But what are you claiming? Because
Well,
Derren Brown himself admits that it is not paranormal, it is not supernatural, it is a trick. It's a trick.
Is it?
But he would say that, wouldn't he? Hitler said that. Play a record.
Well, can we open this? 'Cause
No! It's illegal!
No, but I'm thinking if
What
it's
if
a
we opened
birthday
it off
card
air?
for someone's, like, 42nd birthday.
Right. You can't open that letter. Go and put it back, or put, no, you cannot open that letter.
Why not?
You can't open someone else's mail, because you think Derren Brown's, supernatural.
What if we steamed it open? Then resealed it, no one would know.
It's only a letter.
You can't, yeah, you can, but I don't want any part of it.
Carl,
So
I think you should open it.
No, you open
I'm
it.
not opening it. It's against the law. You should open it,
Right,
though.
we won't open it then.
They won't send you to prison.
Look, forget it.
You'll get off.
Cure?
Yeah.
Bit
Bit
of
of
cure?
cure.
There's no
it's
cure,
really
no.
approaching. I'm looking. Well, I'm tempted to open it.
Well, do you want to, Steve? There you go.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to open it. But I think you should definitely.
Alright.
6 Different Ways by The Cure from the album The Head on the Door. We've enjoyed that.
The head on the door, Carl. Ooh, bit of a coincidence.
Spooky, isn't it?
It was only 4 weeks ago you were talking about a head and a door.
Exactly.
Has the door got a number on it? 42.
Oh dear. Oh.
So we're not opening it.
No.
Well, I can't open it because as the producer, right?
Oh yeah, because your standing in society is such that they'd make a real example of you.
Yeah.
That a producer of a tin pot radio show once a week. Yeah, he should know better. He can press buttons and talk at the same time. Send him down.
They wouldn't try you in an adult court.
You would
Carl.
get
It
away.
wouldn't be
You
allowed.
would get away with it. Just they hear you speaking for a little while, and the judge would end up squeezing your head and letting you off.
It'd be like those people who train monkeys to break in. Do you remember down in South London? We talked about it in the past, and they were going around robbing stuff, and they trained them to do it.
I
Yeah,
think
so
they
I
did
think
this in
those I don't think those monkeys would have got in trouble. It would have been the keepers. So, you know, I think XFM would probably take the rap.
Will you open it?
No, I can't be seen to open it.
No, he's
I'm
a
an
writer
award winner.
director.
Exactly.
So am I. I can't be seen to open
I'll
it.
give it here then.
Right, I'm having no part of this.
That's against the law, but
Right, I'm having no part of it.
open it. Come on, you started now.
Right.
The thing is, right, if it's important, we can say maybe she's listening.
But do you need the stress? What it could be anything. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Oh, and if you are listening, Mrs. Harris, you have got gonorrhea. Call the clinic. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything.
Oh dear.
Oh well, I think my talk did well. What is it?
Is the number 42 on there?
What is it? Can you say? Be careful. What?
Let me see what it is.
What is it?
Oh. Dear Sir, Madam, your periodical dental inspection is now due. Would you kindly contact the surgery to make an appointment? Harris, Mrs. Harris, if you're listening, your periodical dental inspection is now due. You might want to contact the the dental surgeon that you normally go to.
She could have a faulty tooth.
Faulty tooth.
42.
42.
I don't believe it. 42.
A faulty tooth. Oh my God.
God, that Derren's good.
Derren Brown's good, isn't he?
Oh dear.
That's some blur then. So yeah, this is my my secondary school, where I think I came for about 3 years. I mean, a part of me wishes I did try a bit harder, just because of like mates and that who I know now are always saying, oh, you know, Carl, you're stupid and stuff. You don't know enough. You should know more and all that. But I'm also thinking, well, you know, being intelligent doesn't make you any happier anyway. So yeah, that's just what I find out really.
Hey, could you stand another drink? I'm better when I don't think. Seems to get me through.
I don't think Carl's going to learn anything from this, to be honest. Nothing important stays in there. So I think he learned everything he was ever going to learn by about 12. But he thought he had 2 GCSEs, one in art and one in geography. I called the school. He didn't take either of those. He got an E in history. So he didn't remember what stuff he'd taken. He doesn't remember turning up to that one.
Do you know, Ricky, this evening we're actually putting Carl into a Mensa
test.
Okay. First you had to explain to him what a Mensa test was, I assume. I think he'd do all right. I think he's got, you know, quite a good natural intelligence. I think if you take sort of any formal education and knowledge out of the equation, I think he'd surprise you. I think he'd do okay at that. Because he's got a good brain. He's just, he's never used it.
Thanks for taking the test, and I hope you'll do well.
Murder. I don't know, I mean, I thought, you know, like they say, go off gut feeling and stuff, but even the gut wasn't kicking in, that wasn't even helping me. But other people in there didn't seem to be struggling. After the first set, there was a woman sat next to me doing a Sudoku. She wanted more, she wasn't happy just relaxing the brain, she just kept going and what have you. I mean, it's multiple choice, so you can take a bit of a lucky dip, do you know what I mean, just have a gamble. But yeah, I'm not sort of positive about it. I don't think you know, I'll be jumping up and down and what have you. With joy. I thought I'd go and see like an intelligent person just to see, you know, how they spend their day and see if it's something that, you know, I think, oh yeah, wish I was intelligent.
3 feet tall, with a head like a bowling ball, can't get up from where you fall, you bring this back to me.
I don't do any cooking, by the way. It's like I leave that to the girlfriend most of the time, and I just I wash up. So
Do you?
Yeah, I can do that. That's Jermaine Gray. That's the intelligent person that I'm seeing. She said I could talk to her while she was busy making bread. Would you say, you know, your intelligence has brought you a lot of happiness? Would you say, you know, if I went out of my way to learn more and read more, would I be happier with it?
I can't make that question make sense because the happiest people on earth are idiots. Clever is not the same as intelligent, and intelligent is nothing to do with having a storehouse of facts about anything, or even having a good memory.
So what you're saying is then you can be quite intelligent, but you're not always going to be right.
Wouldn't that be dreadful to be always right?
But that's how it comes across with a lot of intelligent people, because they argue a lot, and you're like, oh, stop arguing. Just one of you just say you might be right and go home. Do you know what I mean? They're happy to. You see things on like Newsnight or whatever, and it's just like none of them are going to back down, and then they go, "That's all we've got time for. See you next week." And you go, well, "What's been sorted out?" And that's why I don't like
things are not meant
watching
to be sorted out.
Well, what's the point in chatting about it?
Can I make this fucking bread?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, make a start on it. You see, that's like what happens on Newsnight. Asked a question, never got an answer.
This should feel like human flesh. Just feel it. It's a bit cool today.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That feels nice.
Doesn't it feel nice?
Yeah, that's good. Girlfriend doesn't let me do it anymore. Sort of trying to cook.
That's because you're not giving it enough attention. But I don't.
I sort of give it a go. She walked in one day and they had sausages in the toaster. She went mental at me. Do you know how sausages make a load of mess when you put them in a pan? And it was when I first got a flat and I was really I wanted everywhere to be clean all the time.
No, I am beginning to think you might be just a tad stupid.
See, sometimes I wonder if I'm meant to be intelligent. Whenever I sort of try to teach myself something will happen to stop me learning that thing. Like here, she went off and got me a book, and then look what happens.
Oh, fucking Ada.
Look at this, if we go in a bit, you're stuck in this.
Oh no, it's alright, mate.
Anyway, I thought now would be a good time to sort of show me Mensa results. I thought they might look better in the dark. I did a Mensa test. I did one a couple of weeks ago.
And?
You might understand the results. Can I just show you the piece of paper? Because the results are really complicated, and I was like, what does that mean?
But surely you've already realised that Mensa people are the dreariest people on earth.
Yeah.
And the most socially maladroit.
Yeah, they were boring.
They are impossible.
Not if you got a
and
talk.
they generally have nothing but their Mensa qualification.
So what do you think? What would that... Say if you didn't know me, but you saw that piece of paper, and you saw this piece of paper before I came to see you today, what would you be thinking in your head?
Nothing.
You wouldn't judge me by that?
Judge you by the kettle B scale? No.
You're going to cut into that?
No, it's got to cool down. But you can take it home if you like.
Can I?
Yep.
What, all of it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'll have my pie and my mash, gravy.
Oh, you're not a wholemeal bread man. You'll be saying, oh, I'd rather have me white bread. I don't like that bread. It's got roughage in it. It's going to make me have a big shit. It will.
That's good
big
though,
and
isn't it?
perfectly formed.
That's good. That's healthy.
It is healthy.
So, not a very good brain, but...
Terrific
good
bowels.
She was nice enough, and I got some sort of free bread out of it, and it was sort of good to know that no matter how sort of different we were in the brain department, we could still sort of both have a laugh about my arse. Anyway, I kind of thought maybe it's not my fault that I don't know much. I thought it might be my brain's fault. So I went to see this bloke who's a professor who knows all about brains and what have you at this university, where everyone in there sort of looks like a professor. I'll make him one just for me. I mean, look, she only makes a tea. Look at her. Just a little bit of milk, no sugar, please. That's the fellow I'm seeing there. His name's Hines. He was going to tell me, you know, how to use my brain better.
This is the way. This is the way.
He had loads of slides and stuff. He had pictures of like brains and Einstein. He had one of a monkey, and he just sort of said the best thing you can do with your brain is just to let it think.
You are the particular strain of animal, Homo sapiens. You are. It's about 80,000 years old. Somewhere between 50 and 80,000 years old. I'd like to be at that borderline somewhere where it happened, because something happened which suddenly made us so much more competent than the hyenas and lions.
But that's what I'm saying about, you know, the brain. I don't understand how it jumped so quickly. For me, I mean, you see, do you know you're open to theories and things? I'm sort of thinking, the brain, is there any chance that could have come from somewhere else? Like a type of... Like an alien. I don't want to say alien because it makes it sound daft.
I mean, you can... No, not... You don't think you're daft. It's simply unlikely. In any case, you haven't solved the problem, or you've pushed it back to another planet. Because the phenomenon which puzzles you, of saying, how did our brain suddenly become so much more intelligent? Maybe it was an alien who came and told us about things. Yeah. You then ask the question, well, who told the alien?
Who told the alien what?
That who made him clever?
Because they're better, aren't they, on other planets still?
Who says so?
Just because of the spaceships they've got and everything. We haven't got them yet. So if they've got the spaceships, I've got to guess they've got better.
How do you know?
Just when you see them, they look sort of really futuristic.
But you've never seen one.
No, I know, but I just look at pictures and
I know, but they're pictures are drawn by people like you. I'm not sure this is getting us anywhere. Look, chaps, I think...
See, it's a shame that, because he said in his lecture that, you know, thinking should be fun, and yet look at him. Got all annoyed with me. Anyway, I think sometimes having, like, too much information can be a bad thing. The fella I'm on the way to see here, he said his head opened up one day, right? Load of knowledge went in there. Turned his life upside down.
It's crawling within you.
Alright, welcome back. I'm still sort of on this journey trying to find out if, you know, if I was more intelligent, would it make me more happy? That's what I'm trying to find out. And just on my way to the Isle of Wight here to see a fella who was sort of a bit like me. He got a load of stick for being daft.
See the green-eyed monsters on the shore.
Carl, how you doing, mate?
That's David Icke. Just in case you don't know, in about 1991 he was on a chat show. He said he was the son of God and that the Queen was a lizard or something, and he got a load of hassle for it. So I just wanted to know how he dealt with sort of being put down.
I never took an exam in my life, Carl. I left school at 15, which was the leaving age at that time. And I look back and I think, what did I miss? I mean, in your life, what of real substance would you have got from school had you concentrated harder and took it more seriously?
Arguing a point. It's something that sometimes I'll be in the pub and I'll say, oh, I've read something about a girl who eats mud. It's something that's gone on somewhere. Now, if I bring that up in a pub and I go, oh yeah, I've read this thing about a girl eating mud all the time, then someone will go, what are you talking about? And I'll go, yeah, I read it, it's in the magazine. It's a bit weird, isn't it? And they'll go, it can't happen. Then suddenly, because I don't know all the facts and figures, I'll sort of go, oh yeah, maybe you're right.
Well, I know, but there's two things to that. First of all, you read A Woman Eats Mud. It don't matter if they believe you or not. You know you read it and you know you saw it.
I know, but isn't taking in information all about sharing that information?
I know, well, to an extent, but you can only share with a mind that's open. You came out with a classic then, when you talked about them saying, that can't happen.
Yeah.
That is classic, concrete intellect, programmed intellect. That can't happen. This is the only possibility. What I learned at school, what I read in the Daily Telegraph, what they taught me at university. There was the great philosopher in ancient Greece called Socrates, and he was supposed to have said, wisdom is knowing how little we know. Now, that is a fantastic way of looking at life, because your mind is always open to other possibilities. We have a real false version of what intelligence is. You're not a stupid bloke.
No,
You're not.
No.
Okay, you can't regurgitate facts about some bloody war years ago. Okay, you want to know about it? Go on the internet, buy a book. Yes, about that war. Yeah, I'll read about
It's just
that.
little things like before you dropped in a quote of someone's and stuff like that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Just being able to drop, it'd just be nice to have a couple in my head that I can go, oh, you know what so-and-so said back in 46. And that's enough. I think that's all I need, because people would suddenly go, where did you get that from? Do you know what I mean? Did you do that before to sort of just show off a bit, or did you do that?
No, I'm trying to use quotes to make my point. But the thing is that what you're saying there is, if I had a few quotes, then they'd see me differently. Why are you bothered about how they see you? You are what you are. Me, I don't care if I'm seen as intelligent, stupid, crazy, off the wall, having a midlife crisis, any of it. I'm just interested in what is, and if what is not what the systems version is, then fuck them. And the key, Karl, is not to buy it. Because it doesn't matter if people think you're stupid. I don't think you're stupid.
No, well,
and it doesn't matter if they do.
Grinds you down a bit.
Well, it does, mate, if you allow it to grind you down. I mean, I'm the living proof, to say the bloody least, that you can take enormous amounts of ridicule over a long period of time and still keep going on the journey that you think is right. And following the path that you think is right.
You've got to sort of trust the experts, haven't you? I had like a fella around when I had a problem with the fridge, and he was like a professional fridge fixer, and yet he said, when did you last vac it out? I should be able to go, well, he knows what he's talking about, he's a fridge fixer. But I've never heard anyone talk about vacuuming out a fridge. So it's, who do you listen to?
You have to, in the end, you know, the whole thing is we have a filter which we need to trust, and it goes under the name of intuition, because there are great fridge fixers who have qualification. I'm a qualified fridge fixer.
Yeah.
And there are qualified fridge fixers who are shit.
I think he was that one.
Yeah, so we have to make that decision on the basis of what we think is right. We just have to follow our heart and our intuition and our feelings, and, you know, you're not a stupid man. And if people tell you that you're stupid, it's because they are intellectual snobs who are themselves stupid because they have accepted a version of programmed intelligence and they're trying to impose it on you. Fuck them.
Right. Fair enough. I like David, he was alright. And what you don't know is I sort of have problems with kidney stones and stuff. And I was in a bit of pain that day, and after the chat he made us a brew, gave us some herbal tablets. Never had the pain since, so it's good of him that. I liked him. This is where I did English, just in this classroom here, which is a subject I didn't do that well in. Mainly down to the fact that I don't think the teacher was that good. And you know, like normally kids sort of read a classic novel to sort of study and what have you. Well, we were doing that, but it wasn't Shakespeare or anything like that. It was Dr. No, Ian Fleming. So it sort of gives you an idea of, you know, what the school was like back then. I'm sure it's better now, but because I mean the amount of books they've got on the shelf there is more than I saw in the 3 years, I think. See, that's another thing. I don't read that many books yet. You know, intelligent people love them, don't they? Like this fella who I went to see, he writes for a living, and he's really intelligent. Yet, I don't know. Every time I see him, I just think, oh, look at him. He looks miserable. His name's Will.
Hello.
Hi, Will. How's it going,
You
Carl?
must be Carl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Come in.
You well on that?
I'm extremely well. Mens sano corpore, Carl.
I don't know what that means.
Healthy mind and a healthy body.
Is that still the main thing to have?
That and a Volvo. You sit on that uncomfortable wire chair, and I'll sit here on this much nicer chair.
That's fine, yeah.
Can you just look into my eyes for a minute, very deeply into my eyes, because I'm going to just do a little test on you. Okay? Now just don't flinch. Right, can you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, because with this, I can measure the size of your corpus callosum. Yeah, which is what joins the right and left hemispheres of your brain. And I can tell whether there's a restriction in the passage of information.
I think the right hand's good. I've looked into that, and they said if your right hand part of the brain is bigger, that's your creative bit.
Yeah.
And I looked in the mirror, and because I've got a bald head, you can actually see, if you look at that there, look at that profile, right? Remember that bit?
Mm.
Look at that side.
Oh yes, it's considerably enlarged.
So that's what I mean. So I think in regards to that, I've got the good bit of the brain.
Can you feel that?
It's pretty heavy, that.
Is it restricting your thoughts?
I wasn't thinking about anything.
Yeah, it's restricting your thoughts a bit. I mean, for a start, we need to test your cognitive ability a bit more, so I'd like you to do something for me while I talk to you. Yeah. So I'd like you, could you stand up and get a pipe from the rack? Pick one you like.
I like that one.
You like that one? It's interesting you would choose that pipe.
Why?
Because that pipe is exactly modelled on one smoked by Tony Benn. I should imagine Tony Benn's a figure that you find quite appealing.
The only thing I know about him was a bit of artwork that he liked.
I see. You don't know anything about Tony Benn?
No, I
apart
just
from the
saw
bit
this
about-
thing. It was in the back of a Sunday supplement.
Okay.
Where he was sort of talking about his favourite bit
So you
of
don't know
art.
anything about his politics or...
Not really.
That he was once Viscount Stansgate? You don't know nothing about that? You are a very ignorant chap, aren't you?
See, look at him, he hates me. This is what I worry about. If I sort of turned intelligent, is this what I'd have to be like? Anyway, he got me to clean his pipes for him whilst we had a chat. This is an intelligent thing to do, isn't it?
Well, I mean, pipes are associated with thought, aren't they? You automatically think of Sherlock Holmes, or perhaps you don't.
No, I just think of old men.
Old men.
So are you happy that you're intelligent?
Well, I don't know. It's not really for me to judge. You see, intelligence is instrumental. You know, these chaps who are telling you, when you talk about things that you've read, that you're daft, are they intelligent?
Well, it's just that there's more of them, so you go with the masses, don't you?
I see.
All I came here for was just to find out if it's worth me reading a few more books or watching the news more or...
Yeah, but what sort of books do you want to read? I mean, do you want to read the Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus? Do you want to read...
Maybe not to start with. The last book that I read, it was about the governor. And it's this sort of London gangster. I just was struggling with it. It was jumping about a bit, the story. You know, it was like 1 minute he was 12 and then he was like, you know, in prison and stuff.
And you wanted a straight narrative?
Well, but the thing is, I realised it was because all the pages were mixed up.
Oh, I see.
So it was, I got halfway through it and I was struggling with it, saying I can't follow this, and then I turned the page and it was like chapter 1. It was like, oh, the one time I tried to, you know, read a book and it all went wrong.
That was the one time you tried to read. Recently, you tried to
Recently,
read a book.
yeah.
I mean, do you feel
He's in a totally different league to me. That's the problem with him. There's no way that he'd be happy sat in a pub with me talking about, you know, a woman who eats mud. It's just not going to happen.
John Stuart Mill, the philosopher, said, better to be Socrates, i.e. a great philosopher, and dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. I mean, when you talk about being happier, would you like to be just a happier pig?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, because that's all...
Well, fuck off then. Stop wasting my time.
No, but surely that's what
No. I'm a busy man. That is not what life is about at all. You're the proverbial bird in the hand, man. You know, you're worried about grabbing for the bush for fear that you're going to lose the bird you've already got in your hand. And that is your anxiety. And what I'm saying to you is nothing ventured, nothing gained. I feel, and you arouse these conflicting emotions in me. On the one hand, I really do just want to kick you down the road. And on the other hand, I want to take all your clothes off and soap you gently with palm olive and clean you tenderly and put you to bed.
Both of them sound bad to me.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? That isn't even a bird in the hand.
Well, that doesn't make me feel very good, you rejecting me in that way.
It's just, I'm not that happy with my body. Anyway, nice to meet you, though.
Well, it's sort of nice to meet you. Sort of nice.
That was all a bit weird, that. I don't think I'd want to be as intelligent as him. I just want to be able to get by and maybe, you know, say the odd thing now and again that people go, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I got that book that you mentioned, and I couldn't understand it. I thought the pages were in the wrong order again. It was easier to read The Governor. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really learnt anything from this. Just maybe some of us are not meant to be really intelligent. You've just got to sort of make the most out of what you've got and, you know, just get on with it, really. And I'm not sure if I want to be more intelligent anyway, because at the end of the day, if I was, you know, would I be me anymore?